I have this great picture, and this is what a plate should look like when you have diabetes. Let's see if you can see it. Okay, so your meat or your protein should be about the size of a deck of cards. Your starch, which would be like your potatoes and your rice, that should be about the size of a computer mouse. And then there's a fruit that you can have at the bottom, and they say that's about the size of a tennis ball. And then, of course, you can have as much non starchy vegetables. But see, look at that portion of vegetables compared to everything else. It's a lot larger. And that's, I think, is the problem. We don't eat enough vegetables.
So it's not just for diabetic. I think that's a great template what Jennifer shared for anyone trying to eat healthy.
Yeah.
So if you look at that section plate which Jennifer just showed you guys, half of that should come from your either fruits, vegetables, or salads, or raw vegetables. If you can't eat raw with your teeth, then boiled vegetables. Even frozen vegetables, though I'm not a big fan, but if you are in a cash crunch or have not done grocery shopping because of transportation issues, even frozen vegetables are better than no vegetables. The biggest ingredient or the hidden magical ingredient, Jennifer, in the vegetables and fruit is fiber.
Yes.
So
makes you feel fuller.
Exactly. So when you consume fiber compared to, let's say, you have ice cream or cookies or something fast snack from McDonald's, let's say burger or fries, uh, there is no fiber in that. So what happened is, yes, you feel good, the taste is good, but half an hour later you're hungry again because your sugar went up and now it crashed. So so the key is to add fiber to your diet, and one of the biggest source of fiber is fruits and vegetables. The other good source of fiber, which she didn't have on the picture because there's only so much she can show in the picture, is beans.
Oh, true.
And brown rice and quinoa and any whole grain like steel cut oatmeal. So if you can, so I tell my patient, if you want to lose weight or if you're diabetic, you want to keep your sugar tight, have a big breakfast with chili and brown rice. Sounds crazy, but think about it. Chili has all the great beans, the red kidney beans or black beans. You can put pinto beans, any beans, navy beans, and it has veggies. And you can reduce the salt in that because if you cook it yourself, you can control the salt. And I won't recommend consuming too much salt for our seniors because of high blood pressure. So you got water in that. So you got key ingredients there: beans and water and veggies, and add some herbs to add some flavors. And now you add some brown rice. Now it gets you complex carbs, not straightforward starches, but complex carbs and protein. The protein comes from the beans, as well as the brown rice has some protein too. So now if you think about combining those two things and have a big glass of water,
yes,
suddenly you will realize that you're not going to be hungry for next 3-4 hours. Because the meal, if you think about it, the meal what you just consume, for example, the whole grains or the beans, comes in a casing. What I mean by casing is it's like extended release medication. It does not the gut, the small bowel, the upper part of small bowel and stomach can't break it down. It has to go through the bile and the pancreatic enzymes to break down the casing of that, the hard casing on top of the whole grain. So that's why the husk is so critical. If you just eat the pasta, not a whole grain pasta or chickpea pasta, but regular pasta, it's a processed food. They took the good part out, which is the husk.
Huh.
And, the husk is what makes the food get digested slowly. So then they have low hypoglycemic index because the gut has hard time breaking the outer casing. So then if you consume that meal, which I alluded to for breakfast 2-3 times a week, it's a strange breakfast, chili and brown rice or quinoa. If you are from Latin America, you probably used to quinoa, but quinoa has become mainstream in last 5 years in most of the restaurants too. So it's a very fantastic grain without much flavor. So you can add it to your salads, you can add it to your stews, you can add it to your chili, again, or any kind of beans. Now, when you're making beans, just remember it should be from dry beans. It should not be from canned beans if possible, because the reason for that is, what's the reason for that, Jennifer? What you can think of?
I'm thinking that canned beans probably add sodium
Yes,
to preserve it.
right. So that's a huge no-no. And the other thing is, the casing, the hard casing, has become really soft over the
Mm.
years, and it's not as good as, let's say, if you have dried beans soaked overnight. You still have some solid thickness to it, and it has really not become too soft and mushy. Though, the canned beans cook quicker, and that's my point. Anything which cooks quicker is not good for
Right.
you.
It's too easy, right?
Same thing applied to oatmeal. If you have a quick oatmeal in microwave, it's a processed food.
Yeah.
If you have steel cut oatmeal, which has all the husk still attached to it, will take time, 15, 20 minutes to cook. But you know that if you consume it, you'll stay full. Add some nuts to it if you're not allergic. Add some raisins or fresh fruits like berries to it. Now you have a full meal instead of having cereal. If you're diabetic, you're heavy overweight, cereal is not a good breakfast. Cereal is quick, and anything quick, what did I just tell you?
Not
Spit it
good
out.
for you.
So, for example, this morning I had chickpeas, cooked chickpeas, and quinoa for my breakfast with a big glass of water. And, I still didn't eat anything.
Wow.
So it is, you stay full. I'm still full. I'm not hungry. So what typically I tell you is I practice too. So it's not just for telling you folks. It will help you to stay full.
So, about the plate sizes, making sure that you're having more non-starchy vegetables, and then, as doctor said, adding some beans as well as a starchy grain like your brown rice, and make sure you have some fruit too. And then also one thing I wanted to say, a quick way of estimating some portion sizes. So, if you make a fist, about this is about a cup. Your palm, this side in the circle, is about 3 ounces, and then your thumb is about 1 ounce. It's a quick way, if you can't find measurements, to kind of estimate what your portion sizes are. And another tip that I think would be try using smaller plate. It looks fuller. You think your brain's thinking, oh, I got more food on here, but it's really a smaller plate. So you eat all that, and maybe you're feeling fuller. And like doctor said, drinking a full glass of water before any meal definitely helps.
So a lot of patients, come to me and say, "Hey, doc, we're traveling, or we don't cook at home. What are your advice for me there?" So I will give you one simple advice which will change your, life in terms of the calorie reduction without even thinking about it. So let's say you go to, a Italian restaurant, and you're about to order your meal. So what you do is tell the waiter or waitress, "Hey, bring the bread in the end." So suddenly you think about it. Now you're bringing the bread in the end, and don't order any soda pop or juices. So, just bring the bread in the end. What that does is now you're not consuming the starch up front, even before your soup has come or your appetizer has come. So now by the time the bread, you're thinking about bread, you say, let me just skip it, I'm full. So just one simple tip, when you're eating in a restaurant, will reduce about 50 to 100 calories of your meal, which is excess, and which is just plain starch. So just think about it. Just don't order the bread in the upfront, and get a big glass of water, start sipping on it, and then get a salad, and then get a the dressing on the side.
Yes. Dressing, gravy, all that on the side, sauces on the side. You can add what you want.
Great point. Gravy too, that, and butter. Tell them not to bring any butter.
Mm-hmm.
So get a salad always. and get the dressing on the side, and always get non-creamy dressing if you can. Get a vinaigrette dressing, and that way you can put a little bit of the vinaigrette dressing, and if you get creamy dressing like ranch, then it has a lot of calories. So vinaigrette dressing, and then you defeated the purpose of the salad. So a vinaigrette dressing or a non-creamy dressing is a good way to go and get it on the side. Now, if you think about it, now you have a glass of water, you have a salad without any creamy dressing. Now you're ready for your entree. How full you're gonna be to, and you may end up sharing your entree with your loved ones. So they'll save you money too.
Yeah. Or take it home.
Yeah, or take it home. And that's a good point. Take it home. Most of the time you don't end up eating because it's not as flavorful as, when it's freshly cooked. And that may reduce the calorie consumption too. So, and don't order desserts. Desserts are chock full of calories. And, if you're going to order a dessert, maybe share with your partner or your grandkids, and just have one helping and not go for second helping. And
Mhm.
preferably do not order dessert if you can. And get a fruit
Have a
instead.
fruit, yeah.
Yeah, get a fruit instead.
Get that sweetness, and maybe that'll crave your sweet tooth.